IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest here close to the Danube River. I hope everybody is having a great day so far. Nice to see so many students in class. Hi Pavan, hi Zainab, to our members and to all of our other students. This lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com for all of your academic IELTS needs. And if you are learning for the general version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Both of those websites are fully responsive, so you can use them on your phone, tablet, and computer. And you can get our app, Academic IELTS Help, from your app store. Look for our shield. This lesson is a task 2 essay. Today we will work on understanding the question, generating good ideas, and writing a solid band 9 introduction. Hi Marasa. Hi David Valencia. Good to see some of our regular students in the class. Also, students, if you have questions, don't be shy. Send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. I will be glad to answer your inquiries. Hi, Barendra. So today, task 2. Tomorrow, we will have reading for our members, followed by finishing this task 2 with everyone. And then on Saturday, some speaking, part 2 and part 3 for everyone to participate in. Before we look at the task 2 question here real quick, just a peek at our websites. This is the academic here with the blue background. Click that red button to join. Get our practice exams, interactive course, lesson videos, aehelp.com. Eugene, thank you for the Halloween emojis. Yes, in North America, we are celebrating in US and Canada Halloween. And in fact, I'm actually celebrating Halloween here in Hungary as well with some of my friends from back home. All right, this is our general version of the website, gieltshelp.com. Click that red button to join us there. Hi, Shang Hung. Okay, students, so task 2, here we go. Let's look at today's question. This is writing, so I will ask you to assist me in this. IELTS task 2, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Practice your timing at home. Many people argue that the automobiles of today are outdated and cause more problems than good. Explain the reasons for this and give suggestions for alternative solutions in the future. Support your answers with explanations and examples. Write at least 250 words. That means minimum 250 words. Band 8, Band 9 essays are going to be much closer to 320, 30 words, okay? Just to kind of give you a good idea about the word count as well, students, if you are doing the TOEFL, which is the test of English as a foreign language, it's kind of the same idea and it's somewhat similar, just a lot more multiple choice with academic IELTS. Their 40-minute time limit for task 2, which is very similar to the IELTS task 2, the TOEFL task 2, is 300 words. Okay? So strong essays in 40 minutes are closer to 300 words. Keep that in mind. Okay? Now, before we get going, I'm going to write a really quick little introduction here that is going to be horrible, and I want you to tell me why. So, many individuals think that cars these days are a thing of the past and create many difficulties. In this essay, I will discuss the reasons for this and provide some possible alternatives going forward. All right, so this is my terrible introduction. Why? So this is my terrible introduction. David Valencia says it's a disaster. And I agree. Okay, so many individuals think that cars these days are a thing of the past and create many difficulties. In this essay, I will discuss the reasons for this and provide alternatives going forward. Okay. So Vanessa says because thing is in there. Hikmatillo says because it's simple. Marasa says because it's an indirect thesis. Banjit says it lacks relevant context. Okay. Adam, the paraphrasing is okay. The number one reason why this introduction is terrible is because it lacks content. It lacks direction. Okay. So number one reason, it does not tell the reader any new information that cannot be understood from the question. Okay? So the examiners in the IELTS exam, they know the question. Okay? They know that this is the question. So when students write any kind of indirect thesis, where they just say, I will discuss the reasons, or, okay, we can take that out, this essay will discuss, it's still terrible, okay? It's still just as bad. It doesn't matter. There's no new information here, all right? One rule of presentation, and an essay is a written presentation. What I'm doing right now in this class is giving you a spoken presentation. So just a general rule for presentations is don't talk about what you will talk about. Just talk about it, okay? There's no point. You can use the same amount of time to express what you're going to say as saying what you're going to say, okay? So this is not a good introduction. This is not the way to get a band 9 or to get a high band, okay? And especially this becomes even worse when examiners see that every second essay starts with almost the same type of introduction, okay? All right, so number one reason it's terrible, it does not tell the reader any new information that cannot be understood from the question. It's simply more or less a paraphrase repeat, okay? It's just a paraphrase repeat of the question and wastes valuable time. Okay, that's all it is. So let's do it the correct way. Okay, now when we paraphrase the question, and we can do that in our minds as well. So a lot of individuals ascertain that cars these days are dated and create more difficulties than benefits, give the reasons for this, and suggest other possibilities for the future. That's great. Okay, so that kind of paraphrasing it helps you to understand the question. All right. But it doesn't get you too far as in terms of an actual introduction, okay? To create a good introduction, okay, so a quality academic introductory paragraph does the following. Number one, it catches the interest of its reader. That's the hook. And even though many of your teachers might have said, oh, you don't need a hook for the IELTS exam. Sure, you don't. But it is better. Okay? It is better. If I sit the IELTS exam tomorrow, you can bet $100 that I will write a hook for my essay. You don't need a title, but a hook, yes. Okay? So I would do it. I would definitely write a hook. I definitely want to catch my reader's interest. Okay? So I have a hook. The hook is like going fishing, right? With the little worm on it. Okay? Makes the fish interested. Ooh, that's got a big mouth. Makes the fish interested. Ooh, it's an exciting wormy. I'm going to eat it. This is your reader. Okay? Catch him, catch her. All right? It's important. Practice it at home. Plus, it's a good way to get you focused. Well, so the fisherman is focused. Okay? So are you, the writer. The other aspect that a good essay will have is, for the introduction, is definitions and importance of the ideas for discussion. Okay? So, in your reader's mind, there's a question. The question in your reader's mind is, what exactly are you discussing? What exactly are you writing about? Okay, what will I learn about according to you? The author. Okay. And last but not least, in fact, most importantly, is your thesis. So this second point is your background. Okay. That's your background. That's just like in a movie. So before I go on to the thesis, just a little bit more here. So a good introduction will have one or two sentences that give context, okay? Context to the information. Every movie that you watch on TV or in the theaters gives context. It's 1967 in Chicago. It's 2059 on the planet Beta Z75 space station. Okay, so you have context. If you don't have context, your viewer, your audience is lost. They're like, where is this happening? What are we talking about? Okay, so you need to have context. You need to have a background in your introduction. And number 3 is your argument. What point are you going to make? Okay, and that's your thesis. All right? So your thesis statement is your clear argument. It's your clear points on what position you're going to take, the reasons for your position. Okay? Okay, so it has to be clear, it has to be direct. These are the 3 elements, okay, for a Band 8, Band 9 introduction in the IELTS exam. Not just in the IELTS exam, but any college or university level essay, okay? Amarjeet, your background has to be on topic. I'm going to show you how. So don't panic. I'm going to show you exactly step by step each of these, all right? And step by step is the key word. So when you're practicing at home, especially, go step by step. Don't rush, okay? Don't be overconfident and think that you have a clear understanding of all the information and it's no problem and you can just start writing, okay? Good authors take their time in the beginning. So go step by step, okay? And the first step is Identify the topic and controlling ideas. Okay. So in this question, what is the topic? Okay, what is the topic here? So here we say many people argue that automobiles of today are outdated and cause more problems than good. All right? So what is the topic? What are we talking about? In a simple way. We're talking about automobiles. See how we're getting some different ideas? Vanessa says it's modern cars. Shangheng says it's old cars. Pachu says it's automobiles. Yeah, keep it simple. Don't paraphrase here. Just use the word from the question. Okay, let's go step by step. So here, we're saying that the topic is automobiles. Okay, let's go through the what, why, how here. So this is step 2. Okay, so step 2, use critical thinking. Okay, and that means asking what, why, how. Might seem childish, it might seem simple, but it is the key. It is the essence to a good essay. So first question, what's the first question? What should I ask myself? So if I want to get in the direction of a good essay, of a quality piece of writing that has good content, good information, and students in the IELTS exam, when you're going from a band 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, content becomes increasingly more important. By band 7 and 8, you can have very good English skills. The difference between band 8 and band 9 will basically come down to content, not English, or sorry, not grammar and vocabulary. So what's the what question here? Yes, Pachu, very good. I love how you're mastering that simple, elegant style of thinking. What is an automobile? Okay. So what is an automobile and why is this question important? The reason why is because the way that you define automobile will define your essay, okay, for the reader. So for the reader, it's very important that they know what your concept of an automobile is. Okay? So what is an automobile? What is the automobile of today? Define it for me. Okay, Barendra, don't jump ahead to the controlling ideas. Okay? So visualize it, see that automobile of today. What is it? It's not the automobile of the future, Deepa. We're not talking about self-driving cars. Okay? We're not talking about why we have automobiles yet. We're talking about what is an automobile. It's a mode of transportation, sure. So the reason we use it is, okay. So Shangheng, very good. Shangheng is breaking it down for us. Shangheng says an automobile is a four-wheeled vehicle using gas combustion to move. Okay? Sure. I'll take it one step further. So There you go. That would be my definition of an automobile. A car is a four-wheeled vehicle device or machine which uses gas combustion, could be electricity, to move multiple people and weighs anywhere from 1 to 3 tons. Multiple people, right? We never really see one-person vehicles. Do you see one-person vehicles or automobiles? If you're talking about motorbikes, maybe, but that's not our definition, right? So why do we use these is the next question. Okay, why do we use automobiles? Now notice, before I go to this why question, just jumping back a little bit, okay, notice the quantitative definitions. The topic is an object. Objects can be measured in size, in weight, in different ways. Okay, so they can be measured. Using quantitative language, numbers, is very, very useful. Okay, 1 to 3 tons. Yeah, maybe some cars are a little bit less. Some cars are a little bit heavier, but most cars fall in that 1 to 3 ton category. Okay? All right. So why do we use automobiles? So Bungie De Silva says an automobile is a device which is used for transportation. Depending on the vehicle, a number of people can be accommodated to move them from point A to point B. Happy Channel says, automobile is a form of a vehicle which helps people ship, transport a specific person or object from one place to another. Okay, good. Marasa says to cover many kilometers in a short amount of time conveniently. Sure. Okay. So why do we have automobiles? To move people and objects to and fro locations such as work and school in a short amount of time, conveniently and comfortably. Okay. How do we use automobiles? Good, so we're going through the what, why, how. Now again, it might seem childish. You might be thinking, really, Adrian, I need to think like that for the IELTS exam? I have to think about what is an automobile, why do we use automobiles, and how do they work? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, you need to think like that. All right? So before we answer why we need to think like that, let's talk about how do we use automobiles. Okay, so how do we use automobiles? Okay. So Bungie says automobiles are powered using fuel. Sure. Fuel. Petrol, or we have hybrids, right? Or electricity. Sure. So cars are powered using fuel. What else? What else is needed to operate a vehicle? Okay. So cars are powered using fuel, petrol, and or electricity. What else do we need? Okay, Mariam, I think you're saying steering, not staring, but that's good. So it needs a driver, an operator. What else does it need? Think outside the box. Okay? So always try to think outside the box. So there has to be a driver, there has to be fuel. Okay, it needs all of its components, of course, like an engine. All right, Bahari, very good. The first one thinking out of the box. Bahari says you need roads. Roads and what else? There's something still missing. Picture it. You need the driver, you need the roads, you need the gas. Sudhanshu says you need comfortable seats. I disagree, Sudhanshu. You could have a car with no seat and still drive it. Okay. There we go. June saying you need lights. Okay. You need and roads and sign, signal light, and other infrastructure. You need a lot, right? All of those stop signs, all of those traffic lights, you need all of those. Otherwise, we would be crashing all over the place. You could have great drivers, you could have good cars, a lot of fuel. If we don't have lights, if we don't have stop signs, we would have a lot more accidents. Even with those, we still have accidents, right? So we need a lot of different additional tools to make it happen. All right. Now, do you see why you need to go through these steps in order to write a quality essay? So in order to write a high band essay, indeed, you need to think about the topic, automobiles, and instead of just starting to write like some speedy squirrel that's had a whole bunch of Red Bull before the IELTS exam, you need to slow down, concentrate, think about, okay, this question is talking about automobiles. Well, what are automobiles really? There are these four-wheeled machines that use gas, electricity to move multiple people and weigh anywhere from a ton to 2-3 tons. Why do we use them? We move people and objects from locations, point A to point B, like work, school, in short amounts of time, conveniently, comfortably. How do we use them? Well, we have fuel, some kind of power source. We have an operator, and we have these signs. So do you now understand why you have to think about all of these details before you begin writing your introduction? So why? This is the magical question here. This is what I want to encourage you to do. Okay? So why do you need to think about your topic in such detail before engaging your essay? Okay. Farah says to get an understanding, so this is Farah Haya, and it's a very good answer, to get an understanding of the purpose of the question being asked. And Agiz Magjane, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, says it gives direction. Okay. Roshni says it gives vocabulary and allows you to stay focused on the topic. Ertugrul Turhan says to write a comprehensive document. Hikmatillo nicely states it in 2 words, to be clear and coherent. Okay? Absolutely, all of those reasons, okay? First, you need clarity within yourself to provide clarity to your reader. If you don't have clarity in your own mind, it becomes impossible, virtually, to have clarity for your reader, okay? So you must first have clarity in your own mind in order to create clarity of argument for your reader. The reason I took time for this is because so often I see students begin writing and I can see in their eyes about 10 minutes into the essay that they're starting to panic. They get this kind of like this fear look going on in their eyes. And that's the point where I can tell that the student is lost. They've suddenly realized they don't really know what they're arguing. They don't really know where they're going with their thoughts. And as soon as that happens, you can have the best English in the world. Your scores are going to nosedive. Okay? So don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. All right? Have clarity, have direction, go through the steps. Okay, so now we have a few more questions. We have direction for our questions, firstly, and we can ask those. So going back to the original question, why do people think that cars are dated? So why do people argue that cars have become inefficient for their purpose? And being able to ask the right questions is very important. And this is the right question to continue your thinking. Okay? So, and break it down. So don't wrap it into one marasa. We're not at the question of what are solutions yet. We want to come to this question. Why do people argue that cars have become inefficient for their purpose? Why? So Nishta says they're creating environmental problems. Be even more direct. They create a lot of pollution, especially air pollution. Right? Okay, sure. So Bunjit says there are a lot of accidents. Yeah. So why else? They consume a lot of money. Yeah, so financially, economically. They're expensive. Egisi Marjani says they cause traffic jams. Okay. So why is that? Let's take that one step further. Why? Why do they create traffic jams? Okay, they're overcrowding the roads. Why are they overcrowding the roads? Yeah, Nishta, very good. I love how some of you are really getting that simple thinking, which is not necessarily easy thinking. It's simple thinking, is beautiful, okay? So they're too big for their purpose. Yeah, absolutely. Why? Why are they too big for their purpose? So they create traffic jams. They're too big for their purpose. Why? Why are they too big? Yeah, so now a couple of you are saying that because every person has their own car, right? Yeah, notice how many cars are driven by a single person, right? And Bahar is saying the solution would be single-seater cars. So Bahar, that's where you're now getting clarity, Bahar, and you're able to see into the next question, which are the solutions, right? So yeah, many cars have just one occupant, the driver, right? I think it's one of the craziest parts of our modern world, watching a million people drive a million one-ton vehicles. It's absolutely incredible, and I believe our grandchildren will be having some pretty tragic laughs about what we're doing with these 4, 5, 6, 7-seater cars as a single occupant. All right, so lots of reasons there, okay? So why do people argue it? We now have some reasons. Should we write about all of these? So should we include all of these reasons in the essay? Ferdovs, good to see you in class. Ferdov says absolutely no. Yeah, Shang Hung says maybe choose 2, right? Choose 2 of these. Yeah, just a couple, just a couple. But it's good to think of a few so you can choose the best ones. So choose a couple. Okay. Now, how do we choose those couple? We'll figure that out in a second. Okay. So we have one more question left here. What's the question? So what is the question that we need to ask before we begin our introduction? Yeah, choose 2 if you're really good at writing. Maybe choose 3. Yeah, so Farah says, think about the solutions, right? So what are solutions or alternatives for today's vehicles? Sure. So this is where you get to be creative. Now, some of you are thinking maybe, hey, Adrian, why didn't we just start with these? So why didn't we just right away begin with these? The reason why is because you may be able to come up with a couple of these, but certainly not as fast and as clear as doing the planning with the topic. And when we get into the essay, that becomes even more important to have detail about the topic. Now, let's get back to this question. So what are solutions, alternatives for today's vehicles? And I love the one that already came up by one of our viewers. It said, maybe try one-seater vehicles. Yeah, one-seater vehicles, kind of like a motorbike, but on 4 wheels, just a tiny version of a car, right? And we're starting to go there. Preeti says carpooling. How about using technology for effective carpooling? Okay. Through organizational software, maybe some kind of an app. Switch to biofuel. Sure. And if we look around, the world is already starting to come up with some solutions. So you don't have to always reinvent the wheel. Charlie Sen says use public transportation. Okay. So okay, get creative. Think outside the box. Kem Akmarer says teleportation. That's maybe a little bit too creative, but so teleportation, maybe a bit too creative, but it's not. Sometimes being too creative helps you to come up with possible creative ideas. Sudanshu says bicycle. Okay. What else? Bicycle is a good alternative. So bicycle. And bicycle, you can think of small electric powered personal transportation devices like electric scooters. Okay, you notice those are becoming a lot more popular, those electric scooters that people stand on with battery technology. So just look around you. Okay, June says wings. Now that's not far off. Maybe some of you have heard Amazon is actually now delivering packages with drones. Okay, so drone transportation, why not? I bet you we are not far away from seeing this happen in our world. Drone transportation. So using small drones, just pick up a person, take them from point A to point B. That'll be very efficient. You don't have to stick to the roads. Harshil, you don't need, yeah, jetpack, sure. And even more simply, drones, large drones, right? We're using drones now to deliver packages. Amazon just started doing that. You can check it out online. Why not? Okay. All right, so definitely some there. Now, how do I choose which solutions? Should I talk about all of these? Again, probably not. So maybe just one or two. Okay. All right. Let's start the essay. Let's begin with the hook. Before you begin the essay, so now we're going to begin the introductory paragraph. Okay. And for the introductory paragraph, you need to start with the hook. Okay. So the hook is just a simple factual statement about automobiles that catches the reader's attention. So think about a simple factual statement that catches the reader's attention. Okay? So Ahmed says, I'm going to go with scooters. They occupy less space on the road. Okay, Ahmed, you're thinking in the right direction. We'll get there. Okay? Let's go to the hook. The hook, it's about the topic. The topic is automobiles. A simple factual statement about automobiles that catches your reader's attention. Transportation is an empiric necessity of humankind. David Valencia, too general. Okay, it's too global. That could be about planes, trains, walking, running. So it's too global. Let's focus on automobiles. Okay. Juan Pablo says cars nowadays should be much more efficient, should be a much more efficient means of transportation. Juan Pablo, that's not bad, but it's kind of opinionated strongly. And you should stay away from a strong opinion in the hook. State of fact. State of fact. Okay. Marasa says nowadays use of automobiles has dramatically increased across the globe. Sure. Okay, not bad, Marasa. Let's try to make it even a bit more catchy. Roshni says, automobile is a common mode of travel for millions of people. Yes. Sure. Paranjay says, automobiles have revolutionized the way we travel. Sure. Yeah, Paranjay, I think that's a very good hook because it makes me interested, and it's definitely true. Okay. Bunjit says automobiles aid society in different ways for people to attain their goals. Yeah, Bunjit, that's not bad. It's a little bit closer to the background, so the context of what you're going to write about. Evo says automobiles have made human life easy and comfortable. Yes, Evo, that's okay. It's not a bad hook. It's a factual statement. Amarjeet says, cars and bikes have become a necessity across the world. Amarjeet, don't throw bikes in there because that will confuse your readers. Stay with just the topic. Okay. Juan Pablo has revised. Juan Pablo now says, cars nowadays are the most used transportation for work and spare time. Yeah, sure, that could be a good one. Personal vehicles are now the preferred mode of transportation for billions of commuters across the globe. All right, there's my factual statement about automobiles. So personal vehicles are now the preferred mode of transportation for billions of commuters across the globe. Yeah, why not? Let's go there. Let's go for the big numbers. I would say there's probably 1 billion cars out there in the world now with 8 billion of us. Maybe close to, maybe not, but it's close. All right. Okay. Berendra says, automobiles are very comfortable and convenient to travel personally, to move one place to another for daily life. Berendra, that sounds more like the background. Okay. So students, remember the hook is nothing more than the topic, automobiles, and a factual global statement are the preferred mode of transportation for billions of commuters. Commuters are people going from place A to place B. Billions, it's a big number. It catches your reader's attention. Okay, so now we can write the background. Okay. Background, remember, is definition and importance of question. Okay? So go ahead, viewers, students, and write the background, write the definition. So tell your reader what is a vehicle. Okay? That should be your definition here. Tell them what is a vehicle. And that should be easy because we did it during the planning stage. While you do it, I'll do the same. Okay? All right, that's my definition. I'll stop there. Let's see what other students come up with here. I'll read mine while I wait for yours. So most of the 5-seater, 1.5-ton machines people call automobiles are fueled by petrol and used to go to and from work or school on a daily basis. Okay, so now my reader goes, okay, I get what you're talking about. That's a car. All right. So Happy Singh says cars are machines that carry 5 to 6 people toward their destination. Can carry, Happy Singh. Most of them definitely do not. It's very rare that you see 5 people sitting in a car these days in many parts of the world. Pachu says a car is a 4-wheeled vehicle with comfortable seats that can carry up to 6 people. Not peoples, people, Pachu. Okay, 4-wheeled, 4-wheeled. Okay. Or hyphen-wheeled. Ferdov says, cars are used with millions around the globe to get from one place to another by using natural resources, such as petrol, diesel, gas, sure. Charlie Sen says, automobile is a mode of transportation having 4 wheels, an engine, which uses combustion to move. Okay. Paranjay says they are a mode of transportation fueled by petrol, which helps people get from point A to point B. Okay. Here, used to go to. Okay. So it's used to go. It's not a past habit in this case. Student was asking about that. Sandeep, a car is a non-living thing is awkward. A car is a machine. Just name what it is. Okay, a car is a machine. Okay, so far so good. Personal vehicles are now the preferred mode of transportation for billions of commuters across the globe. Most of the 5 5-seater, 1.5-ton machines people call automobiles are fueled by petrol and used to go to and from work or school on a daily basis. Sure, there are other types of cars, bigger, smaller, used for different purposes, but generally speaking, this is what we think of when we think of the automobile. All right? Now, why are we talking about cars? So what's the importance here? So we need one more sentence, all right? In order to get people from point A to point B, cars have created cars are relied on by many people, and their efficiency demands constant evaluation, let's say. Maybe you can come up with a better sentence for the importance of the question. Okay. Arsh is asking, sir, is it good to write a paraphrase statement after the hook rather than writing background statement? No, not really, because our thesis will be somewhat a paraphrase. It will be more direct, Arsh, to just write the background. Okay. Marasa says, with the help of such machines, individuals easily cover thousands of kilometers in a short time. In my opinion, the reason it's important to write about this question, this topic, is because so many of us need cars or rely on cars for a day-to-day function. That's what I think. So in order to get people from point A to point B, cars are relied on by many people and their efficiency demands constant evaluation. I don't like my sentence, so I'm going to rewrite that. Since societies rely on cars to function, their impact on current and future society is of grave importance. Sure, let's just state it directly. Okay. Karanwal, there's a big difference between the hook and the background. The hook is simply a statement to catch the reader's attention. The background is information that defines the topic and the importance of the question you're about to answer for the reader. Okay? All right. So far I have my hook, my background, and now I have only my thesis left. So personal vehicles are now the preferred mode of transportation for billions of commuters across the globe. Most of the 5-seater, 1.5-ton machines people call automobiles are fueled by petrol and used to go to and from work or school on a daily basis. Since societies rely on cars to function, their impact on current and future society is of grave importance. And I don't like repeating words. So I'm going to change that to their impact on the planet is of grave importance. Now I have one sentence left. It's the most important sentence, and it's my thesis. The thesis is my clear, direct argument. And for this, I'm going to use my planning. So the information that I created here Why do people argue that cars have become inefficient for their purpose? And the solutions, okay, which we talked about, carpooling, switching to biofuels, developing more advanced public transportation, teleportation, bicycle, drone transportation. Those are going to make up my thesis. So I have to select carefully and make sure I choose wisely so I can write about these points easily. Okay? So many experts have highlighted that automobiles are inefficient because they are large and they pollute. Going forward, humanity can solve many of these problems with smaller transportation vehicles which use eco-friendly fuels. Okay? Eco-friendly means safe for the environment. You can state that in different ways. So that would be my direct thesis. This thesis tells my reader exactly what they will read about in the essay. So instead of saying this essay will explain the problems created by cars, I state it directly. Automobiles are inefficient because they're large and they pollute. Good. Okay? Going forward, humanity can solve many of these problems with smaller transportation vehicles which use eco-friendly fuels. Great. So now my reader knows that, hey, this guy called Adrian says that cars are vehicles with 5 seats, 1 ton, driven by millions. They're important for society, for the planet. There's a problem with them. They pollute. They're too big. And there are alternatives. There are smaller vehicles and ones that are eco-friendly. Now we can write the body paragraphs. And that we're going to do tomorrow. That's all the time I had for this class, students. Before I bid you farewell, I'll read the introduction one more time. Make sure it makes sense. Okay? Never be shy to rewrite your introduction over and over. A strong introduction will create a strong essay. A weak introduction will create a weak essay even with good English. Okay? So personal vehicles are now the preferred mode of transportation for billions of commuters across the globe. Most of the 5-seater, 1.5 ton machines people call automobiles are fueled by petrol and used to go to and from work or school on a daily basis. Since societies rely on cars to function, their impact on the planet is of grave importance. Many experts have highlighted that automobiles are inefficient because they are large and they pollute. Going forward, humanity can solve many of these challenges with smaller transportation devices which use eco-friendly fuels. And I'm still revising, still improving. Okay? That's all the time I had for today. Students, I hope you learned a lot. Most importantly, what it takes to write a high band introduction. And please, 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 again, students, do not write these introductions that say what you will write about. All right? Those are simply just not effective, like the cars of today. Again, to learn the right strategies, structures for writing, as well as for the other sections of the exam, make sure to check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general. Okay, we've got lots of great advice there for you. And it's the same strategy and the same concepts that we use in the exam. You're very welcome, Shang Hung. For Dov's members, viewers, I'm glad that you were a part of this class and contributed so much. Banjit, you're very welcome. Also, have a great rest of your Thursday. If it's late in your country, sweet dreams. Wake up fresh and energized for Friday tomorrow. And for those of you celebrating a happy Halloween, see you tomorrow. Much love to all of you from Budapest. Bye for now.